So for that, I will start off with the exclamation and then followed by the tab sign. So we will get the boilerplate. In this case, I'm going to give a title to understand the trim method in JavaScript. Now, why do we need the trim method? First, let me just give the link. rel is equal to style sheet, and then type is equal to text slash css followed by href is equal to css slash style. Okay, so this is the css we are using, and just to give a comment, I'll use the HTML commenting technique. So in this example, we will see how to implement the trim method. Now, why do we need the trim method? Now, whenever you are receiving input from the user, there is a likelihood of the user adding blank spaces. Now, when you are trying to validate the name or validate a form, this would give us an error. Say, for example, take online banking. Now, if in case the user is entering his name with some additional spaces in the front and in the rear, then he would be having a lot of issues with regard to his online banking. Now, certain times there are methods by which we can validate these things using security questions, personal passwords, and PIN numbers. And in spite of all those things, the name is a very important attribute that is used to make validation. So in those cases, trim gives us an effective way by which, even though the user is entering some spaces, we would still be in a position to give the user the access to his account. So that is the main functionality of this particular method. So having mentioned this, let me design an illustration. So first, I'm writing a script, so I need the script tag. Let me declare a variable. So I'm going to say var first name. First name is equal to, say I'm giving a name here. So the name is John Bear, but apparently the user is entering additional spaces. So 3 spaces here, or maybe 2 spaces here, and 1 space here. Now this is a very serious thing, right? 2 spaces in the front and 1 space at the rear. Though the user might think everything is fine, but it is not fine. So I will just show you what is not fine. So I'm going to say document dot write of first underscore name dot length. Okay, so I'm using the length method which we have already dealt with. Now let me give you one more instance. So I want to declare one more var. This is first name. I'll change it to 1, and this is simply first name. This is the actual name. So this would be the actual length of the name, and this would be the actual length of the one that entered by the user. So this is what we are having in our records. This is what the user is entering. Now if I were to run it and show you, we are getting 8 and 11. We are printing one after the other. So first what I will do is I will show you the output of the original name. So I will comment this off, and then I will show you. This is 8. So 8 characters is the person's original length. This should be the actual set of characters entered by the user. But apparently the user is not entering 8. The user is entering, you can see that, it is 11. So when you enter even one additional character, even the space is taken to be as a character, even one additional character, in sensitive scenarios like online banking. Online banking is a very sensitive case. You will not be allowed to enter into the system. You will be blocked. So that means you won't be able to perform the transaction, and that would create an unwanted stress for you. Now, we will have to get rid of these spaces. Let me just show you something. Now, if I am having a conditional statement, so if this name entered by this user, okay, this is what is entered by the user, is equal to this existing name. If this is equal to the existing name, we give a block. We say document dot write, and then probably we say access granted. Okay, something like this. If it fails, we will have to give an else. Else, you can say access denied. Access denied. Please contact your bank. Please contact your bank. Okay, end of story. So let me run it and show it to you. And access denied, please contact your bank. You see 11 characters, please contact your bank. Now we can go a step further and get the input and then display it on the browser. Let me show you how this method works first. So you can clearly see, if I'm going to collect the name and give a control statement to make the checks, then clearly access is going to be denied. So now what I wish to do is, I would like to use what is called a string. So I'm going to say variable actual name, actual underscore name is equal to the one that is entered by the user. This is what is entered by the user, and then I'm going to apply what is called a trim onto this. Now please remember, now once you apply the trim onto this, you have to use this, okay, because the name entered by the user is already now trimmed, and you will have to put that into another variable name, and only then you will be able to use it. Now if I am commenting all this, let me just comment all of these and show it to you. So now I have commented all of this. I am applying the trim to the information or to the data entered by the user and then saving it into another variable. Now I want to find out the length. So document.length, I would say document.write of actual name, right? So now if I were to save it and run it, you see it says 8 there. Probably I will comment this off. Okay, so this is the one which we add, and this is the one that we are now getting. So this is absolutely correct. So now what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to show you, I'm going to run this block now. So I'm going to take all this off, I'm going to run it. So now the name is already trimmed, but we are comparing this trimmed name with the actual name that is existing in our records. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this actual name and I'm going to compare this here, place it here, and then run the comparison. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to comment this off so that everything will be neat and clear. So let me go here and refresh it. You see that? Access granted. So this is how we use trim.